Today we are breaking down Kaifeng's final chapter, Book of the Ember of East. After everything we've been through in Kaifeng, we finally meet the mastermind behind it all, the Shimmer. We will uncover Aunt Han's hidden past, her potential connection to Qianye, and why this quest caused a lot of controversy among Chinese players. Back in Jianghu, we promised Yi Dao that we would drink the 10-year-old parting tears with him in Kaifeng. But when we arrived, Ying Ying took it to exchange for help from someone mysterious. Now we get our payoff. The moment we step into the revelry hall, we get pulled into an illusory realm. The Shimmer of South shows us Aunt Han's past through chess acts. Aunt Han actually had a twin brother. Her father, a Jianghu wanderer, died because of a mysterious bet. Her mother took her own life soon after, leaving the twins with no one. Luckily, a wealthy Liang family adopted them, but that came with a mysterious price. Miss Liang, the family's young master, had a strange illness, so the twins were taken in as medical catalysts. What that really means is unclear, and we'll come back to it. Did the Liang family treat them well? Take a look here. The family made Aunt Han's brother dress in girls' clothing and dance for them. Weird, right? They also ordered the twins to restore an ancient music school, which by the way is a real historical piece from the Tang dynasty. On paper, the twins were offered payments for the job, but in reality, the servants took everything.
We're too unwell to deliver it ourselves.
Well now, that's using your head.
So the twins tried to run away, but as they were chased, Aunt Han's brother pushed her out so she can live while he stayed behind. The story cuts here, the screen goes dark. We never see what happens to him. But things got even stranger. After the twins completed the school, the Liang family was massacred overnight. Money, silver, all left untouched. Only the school vanished without a trace. At the end of the quest, if you collect all the clues, the Shimmer actually returns the 10-year-old parting tears back to us.
Until we meet again in Jiangnan.
Now we've gone through the stories on the surface, but too many pieces are missing. So let's put on our detective hat and see what really happened. Puzzle 1. The truth behind adoption.
I won't beat you this time. I'd sooner break my own heart than harm my precious treasures.
In the CN version, Miss Liang literally calls the twins her heart and liver. Given the suspicious adoption, this likely wasn't a metaphor, but a literal hint at organ transfer. If the original plan was to take organs from 2 donors, after Aunt Han escaped, only 1 donor remained. So to save Miss Liang, the family may have taken twice as much from the brother. When so much flesh was merged, his memories may have clung to Miss Liang like ghosts refusing to leave a house. His thoughts could have bled into hers like ink spreading in water. This theory leads us to puzzle number 2. Who is Miss Liang? The most popular theory is that Miss Liang is Qianye for 3 reasons. 1. Watch this part when Qianye first meets Aunt Han.
Your face seems familiar. Have we met before? Consider it a reunion of old friends. Share a drink with me, won't you? I heard this place is called Blissful Retreat. Is that a reference to lover's bliss?
More like a blissful reunion. Why are you looking at me like that?
A reunion.
Would you say that Qianye's attitude toward Aunt Han feels unusually intimate? Perhaps because they've met in the Liang household, or even part of Qianye misses his sister. 2. Phase 2 of Qianye's boss fight. Why this figure wearing bandage right around the heart and liver area? If this is the brother, it could indicate that his organs are gone. To cheat a little, during the game's early testing, the CG for this phase wasn't made yet. Testers instead saw this text. From Qianye's shadow emerges another person, like a twin. That implies her phase 2 may not be another form, but a separate person. 3. Remember the Still Shore campaign? We mistook Qianye as Aunt Han. That even got some players confused. So the game seems to be deliberately linking the two. It also calls Qianye Heartseeker. Is that a pun? Puzzle 3. Who killed the Liang family? Theory A. Whenever something's taken from the crime scene, that is often the key to cracking the case. So let's look into that item. In ancient China, ceremonial music was never just music. It was status, prayer, and refinement, sealed into symbolic rituals. The stolen score is called the Celestial Robe Score. It tells the story of a Tang emperor watching celestial maidens dance in the Moon Palace. And who in the game has the closest connection to Tang? Li Zuo. In my video on Li Zuo, I talked about how he's the last legitimate successor of Tang. The Aureate Pavilion takes its name from the Aureate dance of the Tang dynasty, which his lover used to perform. Li Zuo even wept while watching it. For him, Tang culture is not history. It is something lived, mourned, and fiercely held onto. It is identity. If anyone would destroy an entire family for that score, it would likely be him. So if Miss Liang is Qianye, then according to Theory A, Qianye met Li Zuo when he took the score, but she survived the killing by joining the Aureate Pavilion. Theory B. Can you imagine that after Aunt Han escaped, she simply forgot about her brother and lived a happy life? Like, seriously, she was the kind of person who wrecked the Peace Bell Tower fighting her lover. Swap lover with an archenemy. It makes so much sense if she was the one who took down the Liang family. Some players even speculate that in order to carry out her revenge, she joined the Aureate Pavilion to master the Willow Leaf Blade and face-changing skills. So according to Theory B, if Qianye was Miss Liang, then Li Zuo saved Qianye from Aunt Han. In return, Qianye gave him the music score and began working for him. But Aunt Han then ran away from the Aureate Pavilion and hid in Heaven's Pier. This led to Qianye destroying Heaven's Pier in the Qinghe main story. It became a vicious cycle of revenge. Of course, there are many other good theories, and these are just two popular ones. What do you think? Let me know in the comments section. Now let's move on and look into the man behind the Kaifeng main story. But before we do that, we need to understand Southern Tang, the state he rules over. Since Li Zuo is the only legitimate Tang successor, what is Southern Tang? Are Li Zuo and Li Yu related? Short answer by mainstream historians, no. But in ancient China, if people don't believe you're the rightful heir, they'll overthrow you. Establishing political legitimacy is key to stable rule. So the name Southern Tang was invented to appear as a continuation of the Tang dynasty, even though the founder had no blood ties to the Tang royal family. It's like a startup company borrowing a famous brand name to look legit. We've seen the chaos he created in Kaifeng, but this quest shows all those events from his perspective through his notes. As I covered in my Kaifeng video, he works with the Emperor of East every step of the way, perhaps except the part involving the God of Everest because he's Yin Ying's archenemy in Weiyang City. We don't know much about this part yet, maybe future stories will tell us more. But Yin Ying changed her mind after living with Granny Turtle. She transferred the military rations to the ghost market to help people out. She even proposed to the Song government a real gold-making vessel. Government issued paper money. As long as the government held trust, people no longer needed precious metals for minting coins. At first, the Shimmer was furious over her betrayal, but as he watched us, an outsider with no political agenda, stepping in to help the powerless, asking for nothing in return, he started to rethink. He admits, killing is not the answer. When we step behind the curtain, when we reach beneath the cold calculations, we see a heart pumping warm blood. He calls himself the Shimmer of South because he protects his country like shielding a shimmering candle from a storm. On the CN official app, Chinese players rate quests, campaigns, outfits, etc. Interestingly, this quest got the lowest rating on record. There are many reasons, including the unclear and fragmented storytelling and the moral framing, putting Li Yu, who brought pain onto the Song people, on the moral high ground. But for me, it's just another excuse to give you more history lessons, because one big thing they complain about is historical mismatch. Unlike in the game, the real Li Yu lacked the ambition or military initiative to seriously resist Song's invasion. Rather, he was a cultural icon. In ancient China, poems were sung like lyrics for songs. His poems are wildly popular across thousands of years. The game pays him tribute in a ton of places. The Mercy Song is written by him to spark an uprising. The name Velvet Shade is a poetry genre. And you've already noticed, the art style of the campaign is in ink. This girl on the Pearl Glow Lake sings his work. But a romantic poet ruler was highly unusual in a time that rewarded armies over art. While others seized power through iron fists, Li Yu's family chose ink and melody. When Li Yu's father tried to expand through war, he wrecked southern Tang's economy. Chai Rong then invaded, annexed lots of land, reduced it to a vassal state, and demanded massive tributes. That's why in my Four Emperors video, Li Yu doesn't count as an emperor. Terrified, his father moved the capital further south and died. Li Yu himself never had the ambition to sit on the throne. It happened almost by chance. By the time he became ruler, southern Tang was no match for Song, like a candlelight about to go out in a storm. In real history, Li Yu did know Song was building warships, but he couldn't really do anything about it. Since Chinese players know that historically he was in a much weaker position, they feel like this quest is trying a bit too hard to make him look cool. Li Yu, the Umbrella Main. Okay, that's a joke, but his poems are so famous that even the Vernal Umbrella skill names pay tribute. So let's see what exactly makes him famous. As the last ruler of a dying kingdom, Li Yu was one of the most emotionally transformed poets in Chinese history. When he was young, his poems focused on romance and beauty, such as writing about a secret affair with his wife's younger sister. Look, he vividly describes how she doesn't dare wearing shoes when slipping away after their secret date, in fear of being discovered. But 13 years from now, southern Tang falls. As a result, Li Yu is captured and taken to Kaifeng. He is held captive for 2 years before dying, stripped of power, surrounded by enemies, and haunted by memory. This is the last poem he wrote before he died. Feel the contrast. Ironically, his poetry rises to a whole new level at the lowest point in his life. Anguish and artistry crash together like a perfect storm that finally finds its voice in rolling thunder. If you want more in-depth lore like this, check out my other videos. Thank you for watching.